by the way, this is our dear friends over at Newswax, where the news goes to get snuffed. This is Grant Stankfield. And Stank has titled this video, and I have not pre-watched this, as you know. Look at the title of this thing. Biden is the, quote, enemy too. I don't know why that part is in quotes. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. I do need a cup of coffee today. What the hell? Okay, so he's the enemy too. Biden's the enemy. And by the way, apparently that makes me the enemy because I voted for the enemy. Yeah? Is that how it's going to work? All right. But how much, what does he mean by the enemy? What, because gas prices? Or, Putin's bad, but Biden's kind of bad as well.
Becoming increasingly clear that our enemies have no respect for Joe Biden.
Our enemies have
none or the strength.
Oh, they don't have the ability. They have no respect. Zero respect. Uh-oh, somebody's using fiber again.
America once wielded before Joe Biden took office.
Yeah, you used to be so macho back in the days when we'd put brutal sanctions on somebody. We'd supply places with arms. We'd push back against this stuff. And we don't,
across the globe, we are seeing an increase in attacks, an escalation of violent behavior like we've never seen before.
Well, no, we've definitely seen this before. Cuban Missile Crisis, World War II, World War I. No? 9/11.
That can only be attributed to America's newfound weakness under Joe.
Or that this is their last shot to do it before their demographic time bomb blows up, and they have to go for it. Also, he's going to include, I think, the Iranian missiles that flew into Iraq and landed near the U.S. consulate there. Not on it, not in it. Never mind.
Biden. Over the weekend, Vladimir Putin attacked a Ukrainian military base.
Weird. What? A Ukrainian military base? How is that even, isn't that a violation of the Geneva Convention?
Inside Ukraine, dangerously close to the Polish border.
Right.
Inside Poland, right now, America has thousands of troops amassed.
Right.
Truly a brazen guy, this Vladimir Putin.
It's a military base, though. I mean, it's a supply junction for stuff that they're getting from Poland. That's what he's trying to stop stuff from getting into the country. It's 10 miles away. I mean, they're aware of the stray missile part. They didn't actually have a stray missile land in Poland.
Brazen move by him on a long list of brazen moves.
Yeah, he's very brazen these days. Brazen, brazen, brazen. Stank's got a face like a raisin. Still living down his Hazen rawhide.
It amazes me that there are still Americans who are excusing away Putin's behavior as he commits one war crime after another.
Well, that's a question you're going to have to do with Tucker and Greg Kelly.
He has no fear about escalating his attacks.
Well, yeah, he does, because he's running out of stuff.
Even escalating them against innocent civilians.
Well, no, he does, because that's why they're lying and saying there are no innocent civilians, for one, and secondly, that the maternity hospital was actually a military installation.
Over the weekend.
So he does have a compunction about that, at least in how he has to sell it to the Russian people.
Bombed a home for the disabled, of all things. Who can forget the horrific video of the attack on that maternity ward and children's hospital?
Janine Pirro, she can forget it. I have no doubt she's forgotten about it already.
Last week. This alone amounts to war crimes.
Right.
And now we have the killing of an American journalist. I want to play a soundbite from you as the photojournalist who worked alongside Brent Renault, the journalist who is now dead following this attack.
We're going to film other refugees leaving, and we got onto a car. Somebody offered to take us to the other bridge, and we crossed a checkpoint, and they start shooting at us. So the driver turned around, and they kept shooting. It's two of us. My friend is Brent Renault, and he's been shot and left behind.
The guy shot and left behind.
He got left behind. Biden's leaving people behind. That's good. That's the storyline.
So the belief is overwhelmingly that Russian troops killed that man. Joe Biden is partly responsible for Brent Renault's murder.
What? Why? How is he partly responsible? The fuck are you talking about?
Because Russia, Vladimir Putin, and his troops have zero respect or fear for Joe Biden or
So they shot up a car at a checkpoint because Biden not going to do anything.
what America is capable of under strong leadership. He should.
Well, I'm sorry. What are we going to do? We're going to use a tactical nuke on them? What are you going to do? What's the suggestion, Stank? Please, you can't just say strength like that's a fucking word that's going to answer the question. You got to explain to us what that strength means. I mean, are we supposed to send like Schwarzenegger like weightlifters down in their banana hammocks to just do some flexing right at the border? Is that kind of strength? Or are we talking about a no-fly zone? What do you think, Stank? Huh?
That the problem is we have weak leadership.
Yeah, we have weak leadership because we're what? Can't stop there, Stank. Because we're what? What are we doing? Why are we weak? What makes us weak? Because we're not going to nuke them? We're not going to shell Russian territory with NATO weapons? We haven't launched a preemptive strike of some sort? Explain the strength thing.
Joe Biden should be condemning this murder,
They did.
the bombing of innocent people.
They are.
Threatening Putin with real force if it continues, even if it's a bluff.
Yeah. Say you're going to kill him, even if you're bullshitting, so that Russia can go to their people and show video of Joe Biden saying, I'm going to kill you, Vladimir Putin, if you don't stop this. And they can say, see, it's not just the Ukrainian Nazis. The whole world is backing them, and it's us against NATO and America, and therefore all means are justified. Great. Brilliant. Brilliant. That's good. Go out there and, even if it's a bluff, Trump was always bullshitting. Why can't you bullshit too, Joe?
Believe me, the last thing I want is for Americans to engage with the Russian military. The
But,
last thing I want.
yeah, however, lying about it would be awesome.
But with bullies, the only preventative war is the threat of it.
With bullies, the only preventative war is the threat of it. Gibberish.
The problem is Joe Biden hasn't said anything at all. Silence.
He hasn't said anything at all? I'm sorry. How did they actually... What are they doing in all those meetings? I mean, I know he's going to NATO. Is he going to just sit there quietly with his arms crossed? Oh, that was Trump.
Joe Biden on an American killed by the Russians, and then there is this from Press Secretary Jenssaki today.
In terms of specific actions, I think you have seen the president lead the world in putting in place consequences, putting in place repercussions, brutal actions that have certainly impacted Ukrainian people and now have certainly impacted some Americans. But in terms of next steps or what the next consequence would be, I don't have anything to preview for you at this point in time.
Nothing to preview for you. Yeah, you don't understand. Unless we let them know what we're going to do and they can bait us into it, so that they can use it as a pretext for more violence. How am I going to have a show, Jen?
Nothing to preview.
Yeah, nothing to preview. Sorry, dude. It's a real thing that's really happening. It's not a Netflix series. You fuck.
From the lady with the red hair, extra red.
Yeah, she's a redhead. Yes. Which, of course, ooh, extra red, he says? What was that? Sorry?
Nothing to preview. This from the lady with the red hair. Extra red, by the way, isn't it?
Please talk about Trump's hair color next time.
They need to say and do something, but all we get is lip service from this administration.
They need to say something, but all we get is lip service. And they need to do something, because all they do is tell us what they're doing.
Biden needs to put the hammer down, because his clear...
Put the hammer down. Do not use Avengers quotes in vain. stank.
ineptitude, his feebleness, his emboldening of our enemies around the
How so?
globe. Iran, for instance, on the verge of getting a nuclear deal from the United States that will give them everything they want and
No, it won't. Well, one of the things it wouldn't give them is if they wanted a nuclear weapon, they can't have it.
well, Iran just lobbed missiles into Erbil, Iraq, barely missing our United
No, militias believed to be aligned with Iran did it. Iran state didn't do it.
consulate there. The sheer fact that Iran's so-called elite forces, as they call them, are responsible for an attack so bold, they claimed responsibility for it, to come so close to taking out an American diplomatic compound.
Yes, so close it was. Your phone couldn't even. You couldn't scroll. All right.
Is proof again
Thanks, Steve.
that Joe Biden and his team need to be on the world stage, declaring if Iran pulls a stunt like that again,
If they
its government facilities, its nuclear facilities, its military facilities will be reduced to rubble. Instead, we get this from Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman.
We do not believe that the consulate was actually the target of this missile attack. We are very glad that our facilities are secure.
It doesn't matter if it's a target or not.
Yeah. If Iran and Iraq continue their war that they've had going on for decades, we will get into a hot war with Iran. That's how it works. That's what strength is. Strength is you go into a bar, somebody you don't know punches somebody else you don't know, you take it personally and shoot both of them. This is, bro, it's America.
It came too close.
It came too close.
Joe Biden needs to start threatening Iran.
Yes, they need to start threatening Iran, even if it's a bluff.
Total annihilation.
With total annihilation. If you guys lob another bomb into an area in retaliation for a bomb you think came from those guys, in retaliation for a bomb you guys lobbed a while back, in retaliation for a bomb that they lobbed a while back, if you guys do that again, I'm going to become the biggest mass murderer in history by killing all of your innocent civilians.
Literally. Threaten them with total annihilation.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. I just did it, and nobody listens to me. See, no harm, no foul.
Try me, as President Trump would warn. And
Well,
instead,
he would warn. Try me. Notice how all this mythology about the conversations he allegedly had with the Taliban are all coming out.
pulling out
Like, is he like, oh, what I said to that guy, you wouldn't believe it. I was so tough on the phone with him. I don't want to repeat it, but I was like, you better watch it. And that's fallen into the legend of Donald Trump with these idiots.
the disastrous nuclear deal after Iran's stunt this weekend. A deal that will give them billions to fund terrorism against
No.
Americans, billions to build a nuclear war.
Billions to feed and clothe and house their citizens and buy medical supplies and electronic gear to have printers and computers to actually have a functioning economy once again.
Team Biden doesn't do any of that.
No, they don't do any of it. I mean, they did, but they're not. But I mean, they have, but they won't.
They come out with this nonsense.
So the
This
nuclear
is not
deal
the
is not
first time
dead?
Iran has, as things stand right now, the various negotiators are back home in their capitals, and we will have to see what happens in the days ahead with respect to the diplomacy around the nuclear deal.
Right. They're taking into into consideration the bombing and seeing if that was what the reasoning behind it was, all those kind of things, and if it would affect long term their ability to negotiate it, or adult shit.
Have to see what happens. How about you say it's completely off the table until Iran proves that it can behave?
Because it allows too many side actors claiming to be aligned with the government from doing stuff to destroy the deal from within, so that it'll never happen, because eventually they want to bomb Israel.
No. See, they want more diplomacy.
Right. What's wrong with these people? Diplomacy. Have you met Russell Brand? I think you guys would get along.
We get the nuclear deal is not dead. We are still banking on diplomacy, they say. This is bad enough on its own, but following an attack so close to American interests.
So close.
This deal should be dead, canceled, scuttled, whatever you want to call
I'm beginning to think you didn't like this deal from the very beginning, Stank.
it. Again,
I don't know where I get that feeling, but I feel like the entire idea of making a deal with Iran so that they don't get a nuclear missile for some reason rubs you the wrong way.
enemies now own us because every lack of reaction from Joe Biden seems to prove he is the enemy too.
Oh, it's not even the lack of reaction, Stank. It's the lack of fake reaction about fake reactions you're going to have. Remember, because it could just be a bluff. You don't even have to mean it. It's the, I mean, and by the way, if we wanted a president who would bluster and not mean it, we would have reelected Trump.
Clear and present danger to our own national security.
No, it isn't. Again, what the hell? Clear and present danger to our own national security because they fired a missile at Iraq that was near our consulate in Erbil, but it wasn't the target. So anything that even whizzes by us, or that reporter getting killed because they were at a checkpoint by Russian soldiers who didn't believe that they were reporters, maybe thought they were Ukrainian fighters or something like that. They opened fire and killed them. And so because of that, because reporters in war zones put their life on the line, the United States needs to now get into a hot war. You know what? It's funny, but I feel like Russell Brand and Caitlin were talking about Stank on that last clip. Right. P.S. Khashoggi? No? The Khashoggi thing didn't meet, they chopped him up. That was not a bad example of Trump rolling over for the Saudis or anything. By the way, after that, Trump went over there and begged, I think is the phrase you guys like to use, Russia and MBS to lower production to keep oil prices high. By the way, that deal finished, about a week ago. So production is going back up again, and the price of oil has gone down. You guys know that? Yeah, went down to $93 a barrel. Hold on, and will continue to do so. Hold on, where's my? There's that one. All right, why is my screen not working? Pause. Is, let's see. There's got to be a dunk. I think my iPad is being wonky just in time. So we'll finish up. Look, I was able to get in a full-size show sort of today. I know it's a mix of the morning and the afternoon show, and I apologize for that, but we have a weird schedule today. Tonight, there is no longer anyone sleeping in the bedroom right next to this room, so I might be able to hop back on late at night tonight and pick this up. I also have a 1 p.m. interview tomorrow that I'm going to be doing before my other show. And then Friday, hopefully, will be the closest thing to having like a morning and afternoon show that we've had this week. There you go. That's why they released the audio from Inside the Murdering of Khashoggi. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a conversation for another time. But man, the languaging that these guys use about lack of freedom and oh my God, we're being censored and just and tyranny, like using those words so flippantly and lazy, just the lazy language around these kind of things when these are very serious things. Yes, I do need to talk to Philip again. It is true, and I need to send him the link for the other show, so I'm going to try and get him tonight. And I will, let's see, yeah, let me. I will do that right after I hang up with you guys, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to let you guys go. This is the song. There we go. And I will see you guys. I'm going to pop on later on tonight. It will be 8 o'clock Pacific, probably 11 Eastern time. It'll be late, just because, you know, I'll try and get on a little earlier if I can. Depends on when we get back, because we're in the sticks, so there's travel time everywhere. So yeah, so I'll be back on to add some programming to your life, so you have something to watch and enjoy. Like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. With all this talk about, I just don't think, certain voices are being heard. I feel often like the perspective that I put forward is I'm not, and don't think I'm whining about this, but it's one of the most marginalized there is. Because the extremists have no problem getting their message heard. It's when you try to be sensible and adorable, that's when you really run up against an algorithm problem. So like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show any way you can, and I will see you guys later on tonight. I trust that that's true. Okay, bye.